everybody. Happy Friday. I don't know why I get into this choking fit before I go live. What a pain. Hey, Gwen Broke Cowgirl. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Craig. Hope you and Debbie are well. Um, hey, Lisa Colovi. Thanks for being here. Oh, you're welcome, Gwen. No worries at all. Hey, Annette at the Cow Emporium. Tony, our cabin in the woods. Hope you guys are doing well. Hey, Alfonso. I am having a blessed day. I hope you are too. Yeah, it's getting hot in here. I know it's nothing compared to what most people deal with, but it's hot for us. But it's summer. Excuse me. Yeah, no, not for heat is not for me. Heat or below zero. Otherwise, I'm pretty good. I can deal with it. Um, but yeah, it's just the heat is good for the garden though. Can't complain about that at all. But I think we all complain about the weather. It's either too cold, too windy, too this, right? Especially as we get older. Yeah, I know, Alfonso. It's crazy dry and so scary with these wildfires. And we have rallies starting tonight, and we're so dry. And I'm just hoping nothing happens. Hey, two old people on a couch. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. But yeah, I thought we'd talk about what are you harvesting? Because I'm sure y'all are harvesting a ton of stuff. Um, we had a really good harvest today, probably the biggest one we've had so far. And if you remember when we had the hailstorm, a lot of our main heads of broccoli were knocked off. And we ended up having just the side shoots. But very exciting. I found a couple of main heads in there, and one was a pretty nice size for us. So, excuse me. So we harvested over 2 pounds of broccoli today, which was pretty cool. Hey, Holman's Homestead. I shared your video out, and thank you for joining the collab. I appreciate it. Um, so yeah, so we're doing a collab, and if you're interested, you guys could email me at yogihollowfarm20@gmail.com. And here's how it came about. It's real easy. I'm laid back. It's not a fancy collab. Um, but we love frozen veggies, and one of the things that we set a goal for ourselves this year is to reduce or completely eliminate our frozen veggies, our purchases of it. So we ended up kind of doubling a lot of what we grow this year. And it's been challenging because we've been dry. So we're watering like every day except for like 3 days since June, May for the greenhouses. And so what I'm doing is everything that's coming out of the garden that we prefer frozen, and it doesn't have to be frozen. It could be canned, it could be anything. Canned, freeze dried, dehydrated, whatever that you're putting up for, you know, the year, right? We don't get a huge harvest. So in the past, tomatoes we do, and we'll can those, but we like frozen veggies. So we're going to be taking, like I've been taking broccoli, I've been taking zucchini and yellow squash, and I've been blanching them and vac sealing them and freezing them. So it's been real exciting to be able to do that. But when I forgot the book I wanted to show, darn it. Alfonso said I recently harvested my chili pepper and a few blueberry and a few raspberries. Very cool. Good for you. Craig harvested peas today, planted some 54-day beans as well. Awesome. Are those Blue Lake? I planted Blue Lake. I have not had a lot of luck with them. They're starting to look better now that it got really hot. Debbie can't grow a vegetable, even from the grocery store. Yeah, you can. Let's see here. Gwen said nothing, all done until I decide to clean up the garden and plant fall stuff. Yeah. Thankfully you can get a do-over after all that rain you had. Your garden was swimming. Okay. Not sure. Um, so I bought this book. I wonder if I can get it. Kind of bummed. In fact, Holman's Homestead, I wanted to show them. Let me look real quick and see. Let me grab the book. Do you mind? Do you guys mind if I just go grab the book? It's like right down the hallway. It'll take me a minute. Lisa Colovi will do a song and dance for you. Oh yeah, Gwen, I will do that. I will definitely do that. Okay, hold on. Behave yourselves. If you're watching the replay, I'm being right back. I'm back. Well driller coming by tomorrow for a consultation. Oh, good. Good. Fingers crossed it all goes well, Craig. That's awesome. I know we know how to freeze vegetables and fruit, okay? But I bought this book because it also had recipes. And yeah, it was real fast. Told you I just had to go down the hallway. Solar pump. That'll be awesome, Craig. Let me take the virtual background off. So, we all talk about having books on hand, right? Not using the internet and stuff like that. So I bought this book. It was really cheap. It's called Freeze Fresh. And I'm going to tell you the one reason why I bought it. It's the ultimate guide to preserving 55 fruits and vegetables, as well as a bunch of recipes. And it talks about which ones you got to flash freeze first and all that kind of thing. So the reason why I bought this, and Holman's Homestead, I had asked them if they had done this before, because if our potato harvest is really good again this year, this is one of my goals to make. And it's taking your homegrown potatoes and making French fries out of them. So you have them in the freezer, you take them out and you pop them in the oven. So I was really excited about that. So Holman's, if you guys, I know I mentioned it to you, but if you were intrigued and wanted to check out the recipe, I will email you. Yes, I can, Alfonso. I'm going to give you the whole ISBN number. 978-1-63586-447-2. So it's by an Instagram account that I follow. I happen to like, and there's some really good recipes in there. And I just really liked it. We just did our whole cloves of garlic. Instead of trying to preserve them, we wanted to put them in the freezer. I wonder if the recipe is what we recommend for freezing. I can send it to you, Annette, if you want to look. Hey, Rochelle. Welcome, Brampton Gardener. Yeah, I'll send it to Holman's. Anybody else who wants it, just let me know and I'll send it. Let me just go back up. Oh, Tony, I'm sorry that your garden's tanked. And then the other book that I bought, I have other ball books, but I wanted to buy more because sometimes when I go to look up a recipe, I just find some of the ball books have some really good information in there, and we're trying to do more. And so I bought this one because I did not have it, and it was the Ball Complete Book Oh, I can send the pictures via IG, Annette. Complete book of home preserving and nice thick book. Really happy with it. It's got some of the newer recipes in it. I feel like it's more updated and stuff. And they were on sale, so that's why I bought them. But this one has like the strawberry lemonade and all that. I wish they would make one big book instead of all the multiple ones. I do too. But I said, I wanted to have these books on hand. And so I did. But I really like the freeze fresh. I've been really excited about it. We did the pickled onions. The recipe was for pickled red onions, but I didn't have red. But it's just super helpful on how long to blanch and all that. And the best way to store something in the freezer fresh and have it taste good. So, and she's really honest. Like, there's one thing she said in here. She said the flavor of raw cucumber changes slightly in the freezer, but it still tastes good. Cucumbers will be limp and release a lot of water once thawed, so they aren't the cucumber you want on your fresh garden salad. So I love that she puts stuff like that in there that says, she gives you a heads up, like cucumbers are going to not be great. And so she said the best way to do it, is to freeze them and add them to flavor sauces, sparkling water, or to blended drinks, or make pickles. She'll teach you how to make freezer pickles where you freeze it with the brine and you put it in the freezer. So if you have a small batch of pickles to make, you can make it with the brine and then just take it out. And I thought that was really cool. And they stay good in the freezer for a week after they're thawed. Grilled eggplant slices. I mean, and then there's like all these kinds of recipes, which are pretty cool. Making caramelized fried onions and putting them in the freezer and just giving you some tips. I thought it was cool. So I thought that was really great. It was like $19. It was a cheap book. And I'm excited about it. So back to the collab. So the collab is #PreserveFresh. And if anybody's interested, just shoot me an email, like I said. And what we are doing is putting it all up in bags. And it's just exciting. So I got a bunch of people joining in. And it's very laid back. Like, you can do a video, you can do several. It's whenever you're harvesting. So super easy. Hey, Iris at Moonsprout. Oh, here we go. Hang on, guys. Bear with me while I want to make sure that we both handle this situation. Oh, Lisa Clovey must have. No, there we are. Okay. Thanks, Lisa Clovey. So that'll be cool. Sorry about that, guys. We know how that goes, right? You're going to be harvesting my neighbor's crab apples soon. That's awesome, Rochelle. Oh, no worries, Rochelle. Thank you. Thank you. So anyway, so tell me, what are the things you guys are harvesting out of your gardens now? I'd love to know. So Craig told me his, so we're still waiting on tomatoes. While I'm waiting, can someone tell me, is a San Marzano tomato smaller than a Roma tomato typically? LOL. That was like walking into someone's house and saying, I'm hungry, feed me. Yeah, no kidding. Rude. But yeah, I'm just curious. So I have a bunch of my labeling in tomatoes in the greenhouses is pretty much non-existent. And but if I remember correctly, I have some San Marzanos that I tried this year, and they're in because I try to put all the determinants in the first one. Okay, so mine have always been smaller than Aroma. Ours was last year. Good to know because I'm seeing these little tomatoes, and it's got to be the San Marzanos that I had left because my Romas are just doing their thing. So I thought they had some heat stress because I'm not spending any more money on fans or anything for the greenhouses at this point. I'm done. We'd spent enough on the hail netting. So, but it's just crazy because I'm looking at the tomatoes and they're looking like really tiny compared to the Romas. Let's see here. It's a harvest every 2 years, so need to do a big batch of jelly. That'll be exciting. So Gwen and Holman's both said smaller than Roma. Rochelle is waiting on full-size tomatoes, but the cherry and dwarf are going nuts. That's awesome. Tony doesn't want to talk about his potatoes video coming out soon. Lots of fresh herbs, cucumbers, beans coming soon. That's awesome. I have gotten several Brandywine tomatoes already, which are pretty large. I never grew them before, and I'm really impressed. And I'm probably going to do that. But the purple Cherokee are small so far, but decent size. My Romas are a good size usually, so it's got to be the San Marzano because when I look at the rest of the greenhouse, which the majority is Roma, they're larger. We've been harvesting broccoli and cucumbers for a while now, but today we got a bunch of stuff I'll show you. It's pretty exciting. It's the biggest harvest to date for us anyway. Let me just get you a pic. Hello, Ann, Little Frenchie in Big Texas. Hope you're doing well. We were just talking garden harvests. Yeah, so that's what we got out of the garden today. Lots of cucumbers, and some broccoli, tomatoes. Let's see. Iris says lots of yellow pear, cherry tomatoes, jalapeno peppers, watermelon coming in. I lost the squash vine borer battle this year. Finally ripped my squash out, and it was a really small harvest. I've heard that the vine borers were really bad this year. Knock on wood, we haven't had to deal with those. However, we've had a lot more pests this year than we've ever had, which is weird. But we've also had a lot more pollinators than we've ever had, which is pretty cool. Holman's Homestead said tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, beans, been digging a few potatoes. Nice. Nice. I have several cucumbers on the plant that were hiders and are now like small watermelons. I quit harvesting cucumbers, Gwen. Oh, geez. My zucchini plants made a comeback, and I see 2 female flowers that should open tomorrow. I'll be out pollinating. Do you have to pollinate? They usually get pollinated. I'm just curious. I've never had to pollinate outside the house. Yeah, cucumbers are. In fact, we found this new recipe, Anne, for a cucumber salad that we really like. It's got sour cream, garlic and onion, and it's very refreshing. And we've literally been eating it every night because it's hot. Ooh, peppers too. That's awesome. Yeah, I saw your stuff. Your cayenne have been insane this year. That's awesome, Rochelle. Yeah, never had a pollinate. I let them go. I will say we had some blossom end rot that I learned about last year on our zucchini and yellow squash, and I gave them the lime treatment, and that seemed to work. I had a few tomatoes get blossom end rot, and I took barn lime and put it in water, dissolved it, and poured the water on the tomatoes, and it fixed it right up. So I was pretty happy about that. I recently had a rabbit got into my grapes. Somehow he got underneath the chicken wire and ate the grapes that were on the bottom. Oh no, Alfonso, I'm sorry. Hey, Gear Gryden. No 2-hour show, buddy. I hope you're doing well, my friend, not working too hard. Oh, they're your first females. I gotcha. There you go. Yeah, we've been harvesting a lot of cucumbers, and it's really funny because I planted. Have a good weekend, Holman's Homestead. Have a good rest, okay? Don't work too hard, my friend. Thanks for coming, and thanks for participating. I planted all the cucumbers that I had. I had planted bush and vine, and I just put them all in that metal stock tank that we use as a raised bed. And it's funny, the vine cucumbers do better than the bush. So I think we'll just stick with, the longer vine cucumbers in that stock tank because they're really happy out there. So, but I see cabbage forming, which is huge for us because I've never had luck with cabbage before. I have cauliflower that is massive, but no cauliflower. So I don't know what's up with that, but it sure looks happy back there. I've not been happy with bush cucumbers. We got several off one plant last year, but I don't know. I'm probably gonna stop. Cucumbers are nice in the summer, they're refreshing, but they're taking up real estate. I think I'm gonna switch to something different. I don't know. I'm toying with taking next year off or taking it very light. Because every time there's a hailstorm, I'm just so mad. We're disappointed, I should say. So what do you guys got? Oh yeah, bush cucumber. They're just you don't have. They're like bush beans. You don't have to tack them up. You put them in a big pot, and I just find that they don't do as well as the vine ones for me. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or what. I know cucumbers need a lot of water. Last year they were the same size almost all year. But I think I just find higher production for me on the vine cucumbers. In fact, we had to put up some makeshift trellis for the vine cucumbers because they're that happy in the stock tank. So kind of weird. I will be growing more Brandywine tomatoes next year. But the tomatoes are definitely slower. Putting a hoop in it. I recommend putting a hoop in nets to protect it from the hailstorm. Yep, we bought hail netting. Alfonso set us back a lot, but it did save the majority of the garden because everything would have been obliterated by it. So we do have the hail netting, but at this point in time, I won't grow outside the hail netting anymore because it's too risky. Even where the hail netting had the seam and it slowly sunk down and it just kind of smushed the cabbage, but it didn't obliterate it, which is nice. It's my first year trying bush cucumbers. I also have vine cukes growing. I need to make a bunch of dill pickles. That's awesome. That's awesome. We gave a bunch of cucumbers away today to friends. Yeah, I know, Lisa Colovi. I put too much pressure on myself to grow food, and that's my fault. And so I'm backing off. I may just take a year off next year and buy local cases and see how that goes instead, or just grow a few things. But I will tell you this, the coolest part is Ryan is like watching me track as much as I can. Like I'm weighing everything and all that. And, so far we harvested our garlic. We've exceeded that, which is great. We exceeded our rhubarb. We exceeded, so our goal was to double what we grew last year, but we definitely grew more cucumbers already and definitely grew more stuff. So, and I'm kind of doing things different with like the herbs, weighing them is just silly. So what I end up doing is I've been measuring them by the freeze dryer trays. So like I have enough dill for life right now. I seriously have quart jars of dill and a pint jar of dill heads. So I do freeze dry, but we really like frozen vegetables for many different veggies. Like I'm freezing some by blanching and freezing and vac sealing because we like the freshness of it. But I am freeze drying and dehydrating and canning. So yeah, Ned, I can't wait to either. So we will see. I mean, we've got 3 greenhouses full of tomatoes, so we are hoping. Um, so we'll see how it goes. But it's exciting, and I have like charts to compare from last year to this year. And I know it sounds like a lot, but I feel I need to do this because a lot of effort goes into this. And I don't need to put forth the effort if I'm not going to get a lot. I can just go to a farmer. The cool thing is the past 5 years, I know how to grow here and grow pretty good. So it's not like I'm going to forget that. So that's awesome. We live in a homeowners association. One of my friends suggested to me that I should put a hidden speaker and play a rooster sound in the morning just to piss off the HOA since we can't have chickens. Oh my gosh. I didn't start a lot this year because I thought I had a ton of self-seeding, but it was all yarrow. Yeah, I had a ton of self-seeding. And then I ended up planting some. So I pulled a ton out and gave it away to a friend of mine. And I was pulling out horseradish. I was pulling out all this stuff and giving it to her so she can have it to grow. Hey, Carla. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Always thinking of you. But yeah, so just lots of stuff. Some stuff is great, some stuff stinks. Pulled out the Swiss chard because I've had to spray it all the time for leaf miners where the leaves bubble up, and I just said it's not worth it, so I pulled it. Our kale was beautiful, and I pulled it up because there were flea beetles on it. I wasn't dealing with it. Just things like that. Like that's growth for me because I never pull stuff out. I always try to save it. I've pulled it out. So, but we have tons of zucchini and yellow squash. We're putting tons of stuff up. So that's really cool. Everybody's saying hi to each other. Excuse me. Oh, and I'm going to post a short. We made pig pools out of an IBC tote, which is pretty cool. And we made them Monday, and the pigs were not in them. Fiona refused to get in it. Well, not refused. She just didn't go in it from Monday until yesterday. So I didn't want to post it until I knew they went in it. But I think it's worked out really well. I mean, it's easy. It's got a handle on it. And I'm just going to post a short. So it is the time of the garden cycle that I am taking out our first plants. The garden's going to look weird. Yeah. Yep. It's actually relieving for me, and I'll tell you why, because it's one less thing to water. That's the biggest thing. One less thing to water. It is such a relief now. We don't need to go in the back and do the garlic because it's done. The rhubarb, it dies off, and the horseradish will grow even if it doesn't get watered. And the new rhubarb, I can just go out there and spray it once in a while. It'll be fine. Like once a week or so. But it's just nice to have that whole area done, not have to water it. Soon the onions will get pulled, and I won't have to water that anymore, which is really nice because it is just too much to water right now. We are going through water like crazy. Absolute crazy. Hope you're doing well, Annie, our urban homestead. Yeah, it is too hot, the garden right now. No kidding. Yeah, Tony, it worked out really good. We got 2 pools out of 1 IBC tote, and someone actually gave us 4 totes without the cages. One of them we're using for water collection on the back of the house, but you know how they are when they don't have the cages, they collapse a little bit. We're still able to use it. We don't feel the need to build a frame because we haven't had a lot of rain this year. That'll be something we'll worry about next year. And just thought it was a great way to use these because all we had to do was cut to make 2 pools, and it'll fit 4 pigs, 2 pigs in each. And we put a handle on it, so it'll be really good. So I'll be posting that short hopefully soon. I'm glad I got all those peas in the freezer because the blossoms got blasted by the heat. Yeah. No kidding. Excuse me. What else was I going to say? We have a bunch of projects, but we have just decided it's too hot. It's too hot. I can't handle the heat. I know it's nothing compared to what most of you have, but I'd be dead. Today, I think we hit 92 or something. And I was telling Gwen, it's too much for me. I get physically ill. So, do mosquitoes get in your water totes? The pig, the garden totes probably. The garden totes, I'm sure. So yeah. But we're going through water so quick it's not sitting long. We're going like every other day to get water. Hey Rising Swine, hope you're doing well, Sarah. Yeah, it's just crazy, Rochelle. It's been, I mean, we get this kind of heat, but usually not sustained. But we've been in the 90s, upper 80s and 90s. And we don't have AC. We just have a bedroom that has AC if we need it. But most of the time, you don't need it here. Fans are enough. I bet, Anne. I bet. Yeah, I don't. When I was a teenager, it didn't bother me one bit. Now it's like killing me. Let's see. Hey, Veronica, Shawcan Ranch. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's a bit much. I mean, the gardens have loved it, so I won't complain. But I actually think sometimes it's a little too hot for the gardens, because the tomatoes are in the greenhouses. So it's kind of a bit much. Good for you, Veronica. Good for you. Hey, Blue. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Andale. Good to see you. Hey, Grace and Fire. Good to see you. So yeah, all sorts of things like that going on. But it'll pass, and it looks like we've got a few more days of, I'm going to take a look at the weather real quick. But it looks like 92 again tomorrow, 88 Sunday, and then 70s. But then we look like we're going to go 80s, 70s, 50s, 60s, which is, excuse me, more like our weather. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So what do you guys have planned for the weekend? Anything good? Today we harvested from the garden. We watered when the sun went behind the clouds, and then hosed down pigs. So anytime it gets above 85, we're hosing down pigs, even though they have their pools, you don't want them to get to a point where they're panting, right? Because if they're panting, that's a sign of they're not doing well at all. And it's the age-old thing of like, if I had pigs and I lived in Texas, they would be more acclimated to the hot temps versus the cold, but they still have to be taken care of. But since, like Halbert Farm has misters and pools and shade cloths and all that, we don't need all that the majority of the time because they have shade, they have pools, they have mud. But when it gets above 85, we're hosing them off several times a day just to keep them healthy. Yeah, I agree with you, Veronica. It would be nice if August would mostly be in the 60s and 70s. I read in the almanac, and I was looking at the graphic they posted, that for our area, I don't know about yours, you'd have to look at it, but if you look at the almanac on Instagram, they showed above average temps for August for us. So it's just weird. Everybody here is walking around like it's hot, and it's funny because usually at night, it's like 50s, 60s. Oof, 96. Oh, that's hot. Oh, that's fun. Oh, how fun making wreaths for fall. Have a great time. That's awesome. Tony says, I'm guessing. Oh, I'm trying to get it to show. Hang on. It showed, but now I've got a dictionary page. There we go. I'm guessing Sig is 425 plus, but he reminds me of Arnold Schwarzenegger on steroids. Yeah. Yeah, he's a big boy. We were talking about that tonight. Like, we're always looking at the pigs and seeing how they're doing. And like tonight, flies were a major issue. No matter what we do, flies, when it gets above 85, it's hot too, right? And the flies are disgusting and they're annoying and all that. So if you remember, Sherman used to have ears where the flies have really chewed his ears up, and he's really at risk of fly strike. Well, Norman is getting that too. But one of the things I do is I take SWAT ointment and I put on a glove and I rub it on their ears, the tips of their ears, because their ears are covered in flies no matter how much we spray. And then I take the excess and rub it down their back because the ointment lasts longer. So, but we were looking at Grant, and Grant is huge. He's old enough now where his chest plates are in, and he is solid. Nowhere near Sig's side, but he's a big boy. Same thing we do every day, Pinky, sleep, LOL. Oh, you're getting rain. That's awesome. Enjoy the work in the garden. Hello, Helena M. Hope you're doing well. I'm behind on the chat here. Hey, Suzanne Goulet. Hope you're doing well. Carla said we just got the trees from the hurricane cut down yesterday to clean up all weekend. Well, be safe. I'm glad you got those trees cut down. And Dale says, I'm trying to get ready for a quick trip Monday, trying to get these veggies all preserved first. Yeah, it's always like a lot, right? To get done before you go. Yeah, I know. And go to bed sweating and then have to have a blanket in the middle of the night. Crazy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's rare that we need, the AC, but geez, it's been stifling a couple nights. I'm so glad all the canning got done before the hurricane. It was close. I was canning for 2 days before we lost power. I'm glad you did too. Can you give anything internally Jillian's do for their cows? I'd have to look it up. If I need a vet, that would be a problem. But I will look it up. You mean Gilliam Farms? Is that who you mean? I don't know. I'll have to ask around. I'll have to ask a swine farmer. Our temps have been between 97 and 104 this week, also trying to survive all the smoke from the massive park fire. All is well here, though. I'm glad you are, Sarah. And oh, that is so brutal. I really hope that fire gets put out. That is so scary. I'm glad you're safe. Oh my God, no, thank you. That's why I live here where the air hurts my face in winter because it doesn't try to melt me in summer. Yeah, agreed. Carla's done a lot of canning. Rochelle, would you mind sending me the link? Because if I get the name of it, I can do some research. I don't know about that. What was suggested to me by my mentor and also well, actually, no, it wasn't my mentor. It was by my breeder and a local pig farm here. Okay, thanks, Rochelle. And it was SWAT ointment, and it works really, really well because it's white and it soaks in over time, but it lasts for about a week, I find, to keep the flies off of them. So, and it's so easy to, put on them. And that's why I rub the excess down their back. With the piglets, I'll just spray their bottoms. But they're not as bothered by flies because they don't go after their ears as much. But we do worry about their castration sites. But we spray it with an aluminum bandage, spray bandage that keeps the flies off of them. And then we spray them like on their back, near their rear, just a little spritz just to keep flies away from them because we don't want flies in the wounds and having maggots. Hey, Rambling with the Brums. Good to see you. Yeah, the flies are not awful this year for us until it gets above like 85, right? Or above 80. Then they really get bad and they're all over their ears. It's almost like their whole ear flap is covered. So that's why we're out there a lot because we want to prevent fly strike. So like Norman's starting to get edges in his ears. And what I'll do is rub bag balm on them in the wintertime to kind of soften them so they heal together and stuff. It is gross and it's deadly. So it's easier to prevent it than it is to deal with it. So that's why I do all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Hey, Jennifer Ocean Homestead. Yeah, and it's gross. We used to mix up our own fly spray for horses. I'll try to find what that was. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm using Bronco right now. It's a horse spray, but it's for livestock. I ended up getting a really good deal on a huge couple of containers of it. And so we just keep filling the fly spray bottle. I don't like to use that stuff, but it's necessary. Like I'm all about natural, but the reality of it is fly strike can kill them. So I've got to keep it off of them. And it's sort of like deworming, right? I know that people say pumpkin is a helpful dewormer. Waylon ate a ton of pumpkin as a little guy and he had worms. So he needed dewormer. Hey, Gail, Southern Living. So, I really used to hate bush flies in Australia. They would literally cover you as you walked down the street and couldn't get them off unless you walked along like you were doing interpretive dance. Yeah, the deer flies here are like that down on the trail. It's crazy. Hey, Gail, Southern Living. Hope you're doing well. Sorry if I repeat myself. I always try to make sure I say hello to everybody. Let's see here. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anyone. No, they cannot have salt. They cannot have salt because they can be salt toxic. One of the things we have to look for with pigs is salt toxicity. So we have to make sure that they are hydrated because they can get salt toxic from their feed if they're not drinking enough. So in addition to me soaking it, Gwen, we also add extra water to their feed so they're getting enough hydration. Because sometimes when it's hot, they don't want to move and they will get dehydrated and they'll get salt toxicity. Okay, thanks a lot, Rochelle. I appreciate that. Our yellow flies are like that, doing the boogie woogie wherever you walk. Yeah, no kidding. Cool. Cool. Let's see here. Well, they require salt. absolutely require salt, but they can go salt toxic if they don't drink enough. So like in the wintertime, when it's really cold, they don't drink as much water. So I add extra water. I hate to feed dry for that reason. Um, but in summer, I also just add extra water. We've also found by adding some more water to their bowls, especially for Grant and Norman, because Grant likes to eat Norman's food. And by the way, Norman doesn't look like he's starving. Yeah, no, I know. I know. You can't give them salt licks or anything like that. It's all their stuff in their feed. Because I know Josh at Halbert Farm has talked about that. He monitors the water levels in the nipple waters to make sure everybody's getting enough water. Salt pork. Hey, Angie, our cabin in the woods. Welcome. Welcome. Just going to look at the chat some more. Hey, Spartman, welcome in. We were just talking about you, so don't worry. Just kidding. Just kidding. I have to monitor water for poop in the buckets, I swear. Yeah, their butts are right at that level. That's funny. Oh, my pigs, it was all good, Spartman, don't you worry. um the pigs, they poop in their bowls and everything. Oh, and Andale, those darn piglets were at it again, running around. So funny. Usually by the time they get to this age, they're too big to get through the fence, but these guys are still on the little side. And it was really funny because tonight again they're running around through the fence, but they're in a fenced in area with electric. They're just with Fiona and she's fine with them. The only time I shoo him out of the way is when um I go to feed Fiona. I make sure they're in by their mama to feed. Oh, I know, they're little stinkers, Ann. Oh, and they are fast. They are like greased lightning. It is so funny. I love people's naughty animals though. Ryan keeps laughing, Rochelle, and you'll get a kick out of it. He keeps saying they're just like their daddy because Grant is the one. Whenever the grass is greener, he's out. I'm out of here. So funny. So, anyone who just came in, what do you guys got going on this weekend? Or what have you been up to? What have you been harvesting out of your garden? Or what are you working on? Any of that stuff. I'm just curious. I'm just tired of watering. That's my biggest complaint. But there's food coming, so I just wish the food was coming quicker. With all this heat, you would think we'd be getting a lot more stuff. No real plans, yeah. My biggest plan is 8 a.m. at the farmer's market tomorrow. That's it. That is it. Gail said, I'm downloading my home apothecary video now. Nice. Tony says, birthday party and staying out of the heat. Yep. That's pretty much my goal. I know that's way too early, but rally starts tonight. So, dun dun dun. So, we try to avoid town as much as possible, and the farmers market vegetables will be gone. So that's our goal, is to get there at 8 to see what they have because it's want to support local. R.I.P. Net. Normally it's only 1 or 2 buckets I have to wash out, but the other day every bucket in the barn had poop. Blue says I have to harvest the sage. Don't tell it though, it's bigger than me, but I have to get to the raspberries and squash. Brampton Gardner said probably dog park Sunday morning, weather permitting. Oh, and sourdough tomorrow. Nice. Hey, Sarah, Homesteading Hustle. Welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Oh, you're back in your sourdough tomorrow? Cool. I started mine the other day. I'm just trying to get it good and strong before I use it. But I want to make some focaccia. Veronica said, pool, and more pool. I don't blame you. That's why we made pig pools. I'm taking one of them small little pools for myself. I only need it for a couple days. Our garden is really coming to a close. We still have food out there, but the heat has done its thing. Ah, gotcha, Anne. Anne, what are your temps like that down there? What are you dealing with? Rochelle, you're nuts. You're so funny. Sarah says we have a hive check to do tomorrow morning. Good for you. Be careful in that heat and all your protective equipment. You miss baking it? Are you joking, Veronica, because you're always baking stuff? Or you're not baking it because of being off grid? Because I know you were baking it in the open fire. Yeah, that's my problem. Feeding the starter. I always forget that. Glad I'm able to pop in to say hi. Took the kids to the beach today. We're all exhausted. Oh, I bet you are. Oof. I was waiting for Ryan to cut a hole in one for you. Yeah. No, we're giving that all over to the pigs. So, oof. Gail, that's hot. I can't. Although I'd have air conditioning if I had 105. Upper 90s. Wow. God bless you, Andale. That's hot. Oh, okay, Veronica. I don't have an oven right now at the tiny house, but with the heat, I can't do open fire. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Yeah, they'll start banning things here pretty soon if we keep up being as dry as we are. Um, Scary dry at this point. But yeah, Raleigh is in town, so um, it's just busy. So I'm not leaving the house if I don't have to. Hundreds for the next 2 weeks. Lord have mercy, Tony. You've got AC though, right? To deal with that. Yeah. That's why I complain. I don't have it and I'm not spending on it because we don't need it. But whew, I always tease Ryan when we were in North Carolina, right outside of Asheville. We had bought a house with AC and we actually just installed central air because we got the new roof and everything and we did all that and then we moved and I was like, we got central air and we moved. Crazy. Central air is nice. All right, guys. Well, I just wanted to check in, see how you guys are doing. AC said it's 68 when we sleep. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah. Yep. We have one for our bedroom, but we don't need it. Really, it's just most nights we don't need it. But it's just we have ceiling fans and fans in the house here, but normally it gets cool, So it's crazy. Well, guys, I am going to get going. So I wish you all the very best. I thank you all for coming, and we'll see you next week. So stay safe, stay cool, stay dry, stay whatever it is you need, okay? Because we're all in different places and all that stuff. So good to see your face too, beautiful. I'm imagining it though. I'm imagining it. Love to you guys. Take care. Bye bye. Have a good weekend. Thanks for coming.